What's good? What's good? It's the one and only, but what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. So we got Andy Ruiz and Oleksandr Usyk in the news. As both is kind of been not reported. It's nothing, definitely nothing official. I'm gonna go ahead and make this clear. I don't think this fight is gonna ever happen. It doesn't need to happen, but it's been I guess Andy Ruiz posted something saying that Oleksandr Usyk was interested in a fight with him and all this type of stuff. So I wanted to go ahead and talk about it too, because I don't think that he should be wasting his time on Andy Ruiz. No disrespect to Andy Ruiz, but it's just how I feel. I think that's going backwards. But I guess when you're Oleksandr Usyk, every fight is going backwards, right? Because I mean, who's as good as Oleksandr Usyk in the heavyweight division right now? I previously recorded these, me reading the article earlier today when I was outside with my daughter, so that's why you're gonna hear two different settings of backgrounds. But let's go ahead and get into the article, and I'm gonna give you my opinion. All right, so shout out to the Boxing News app. It says Usyk agrees to face Andy Ruiz Jr. Oleksandr Usyk has hinted at a future showdown with Andy Ruiz Jr. could be on the rise after the two former champions exchanged messages on social media. The undisputed heavyweight king, who is expected to return in 2026 with Fabio Wardley currently leading the race to face him, acknowledged Ruiz's challenge and appeared open to the idea. Ruiz has been chasing another shot at the heavyweight glory since shocking the world in 2019 when he stopped Anthony Joshua at Madison Square Gardens to capture three world titles. The only problem with that is, bro, that was in 2019, bro. That was in 2019, dog. It's 2025, about to be 2026. Like, are we still talking about that? I mean, granted, yes, it was a great upset victory, and that's gonna always be a talking point in his legacy, no doubt about it. But it's like that was 6 years ago, my guy. What are we doing now? But anyways. Ruiz has been chasing another shot at the heavyweight glory since shocking all over at that. 6 months later, Joshua regained his belts via unanimous decision, and Ruiz has since just fought over 4 times, earning wins over Chris Arreola, Luis Ortiz, and I'm gonna be honest, that fight with Luis Ortiz, the only reason he won those fights was due to the knockdowns, bro. I just think it's funny how, y'all want to give dude credit for beating Luis Ortiz when, Deontay Wilder actually beat a dangerous prime Luis Ortiz, stopped him or whatever. But I thought Luis Ortiz was doing a really good job against Andy Ruiz or whatnot, but just the knockdowns kind of prevented that or whatever. But anyways, and fighting a draw with Jarrell Miller, which I'm being honest, just like a whole bunch of more people, I thought Jarrell Miller should have won that fight against Andy Ruiz. Just keeping it a buck. His fight with Chris Arreola went to the distance or whatnot. I want to say it was a knockdown in that fight. I don't know. I think Chris Arreola dropped Andy Ruiz, but hey, bottom line, bro, I'm just keeping it honest with y'all. I'm against Oleksandr Usyk fighting Andy Ruiz. I don't want to see that fight. That is a waste of time. It does absolutely nothing for Oleksandr Usyk's career. But anyways, it says now back training with Manny Robles. Ruiz told covers that he wants another chance at the top. I feel everybody's just trying to get Usyk, Ruiz said. Usyk is the one with the belts, the name, and the money. So I think that's a good fight, and that I'd be interested in as well. The former unified champion revealed that he and Usyk recently exchanged respectful messages. A few weeks ago, I was messaging Usyk. Ruiz shared, I said, hey, much love, brother. I would love to get in the ring with you. And then he was like, in God's timing, we will do it. We will run it up. And I was like, oh, snap. Okay, so good. That's actually good news. What that tells me is that Usyk was really just being nice, because I know for a fact Usyk is not finna waste his time on Andy Ruiz. And it's not no shade to Andy Ruiz, but literally the fight means absolutely nothing, bro. There's so many more fights that I would want to see Usyk in, and we can talk about. And as a matter of fact, we can actually talk about the fights that I would like to see Andy Ruiz in. Like, because Andy Ruiz still got a lot of proving to do before he can try to fight for those titles. Now, before I give my brief opinion about that, I also want to read this article where it clarifies that actually, you know what? No, I'm not gonna read that now, but right now. But anyways, all right. So that there we have it, bro. I don't think this fight is gonna happen. When I first read the article, I was kind of taken away from it, like what, But then as I read the article, I realized like I just think that's just talking. I don't think anything is really gonna come about this, because for one, Ruiz doesn't even deserve a title shot right now. I mean, bro, the dude has been super inactive. He hasn't fought since August of last year. In that fight, like I said earlier, many people thought that he lost that fight, including myself. I thought he clearly lost to Jarrell Miller, and I just don't think that he deserves a title shot right now. Now, it is some fights that I would love to see him in a, I would love to see him a part of, as like a comeback type of fight, and we can go through the rankings and that, and we'll just leave this video based on Ruiz. I ain't gonna speak on Oleksandr Usyk, but it's a few fights that I would like to see Ruiz come back and take. I mean, because the heavyweight division is very stacked right now. So shout out to BoxingCity.com. Looking at the rankings and whatnot. So, just as far as fights that I would like Andy Ruiz to have, or fighters that I think he should fight. Dang, Derek Chisora is ranked number 2 for the IBF. That is crazy. But bro, I think a fight with Derek Chisora will be an amazing fight to have for Andy Ruiz. I think that's a real great fight. Frank Sanchez is actually linked up to fight Jared Anderson, which in my opinion is a terrible. I don't think that that's a good idea for Jared Anderson. Well, unless Frank Sanchez may have gotten a little older. I know his last fight, or the last time I saw him fight at least, I think he had some type of knee problem or something like that, or it was something going on with his legs or something like that. But I don't know. I'm not sure if I would just rush Jared Anderson in there with Frank Sanchez yet. But Frank Sanchez is a good fight for Andy Ruiz. Richard Torres, I think he's too much. Even at this point, I think Daniel Dubois would stop Andy Ruiz. Jared Anderson, it depends on who you're trying to build. Are you trying to build a comeback for Andy Ruiz, or are you trying to rebuild Jared Anderson? I think that'd be a good fight for him. Michael Hunter, I like that fight for Andy Ruiz. Martin Bakole, I don't know what he's gonna do yet, but I don't know. I wonder if Martin Bacole's 15 minutes of fame is up, bro. Like he was a hot topic for a second, but then when he came back on a 2-day notice to fight Joseph Parker and then got stopped, and then he didn't look so well in his fight with Efe Ajagba. I think they had a draw or something like that. Like, he's not really making the noise that he was possibly trying to make. So, that's a good fight for Andy Ruiz. Philip Hrgovic. Stay away from Moses Atoma right now. I'm telling you that's not a good fight for dude. Efe Ajagba is a good fight for him. I even think he can beat Lawrence Okoli. Lawrence Okoli is decent, but he's not just that. He's not that guy in my opinion or whatnot. So there's definitely some fights out here for him. He just needs to stay away from. I'll tell you the fights that he don't need to take. All right. Stay away from Daniel Dubois. Stay away from Moses Atuma. Stay away from. Obviously, he needs to stay away from Oleksandr Usyk. I shouldn't have to say that though. Fabio Worley, stay away from him. Joseph Parker got a victory over him, and a lot of people felt like he should have really beaten Joseph Parker, but I would stay away from Joseph Parker. I think Joseph Parker handles him, not easily, but I think he beats him even coming off of the loss with Fabio. Idris Cabello, he don't need that. Maybe Anthony Joshua, a third fight with him and Anthony Joshua, maybe, but that's just a maybe. Zilly Zane. That's an interesting fight for him. That's an interesting fight for him to take. Jermaine Franklin, but he's supposed to fight Moses Atuma, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I still think that's an interesting fight. So, I mean, there's plenty of fights for Andy Ruiz to take. I mean, you know, luckily for him, the heavyweights don't age like any other division. So, if he really wanted to dedicate himself, I mean, I'm sure I don't know though. This newfound newfound era of heavyweight is much more dangerous than when he beat Anthony Joshua. So, I don't see him becoming a world champion. And I'm not saying that with no malice in my heart or anything like that. I'm just telling you, like, cause this new era of heavyweight is just stacked. He's gonna have to go through a lot in order to get a world title, but you know, he can still, his name's for him. I'll put it like that. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. But what do I know?